The Martin brothers are probably Southall's most famous past residents. The four brothers moved their pottery studio to Southall to a site along the Grand Union Canal in 1877, and this move ushered in a prolific period of work for the studio, where they made the works they're probably best known for today. The brothers really embraced the arts and crafts ideals of the time. They're best known for their grotesque style, their ugly face jugs and hybrid creatures, and we have really great examples of those works in the collection. Wally birds were actually originally listed as tobacco jars, but they're really not useful for storing tobacco because they're not airtight. I think they were called that because they are jars. You can actually take the heads off. But instead of being for storing, I think it's made to be like that so that you can twizzle the head around. It's just a way to give these very characterful birds even more character. They were also innovators of their time. They were working in new ways, working with new glazes, and creating really unique works, and this sets them apart from other potters working during that period. This is a squashed pot. We see a lot of these pots come up in works by the Martin brothers. They were works that may have collapsed in on themselves before they were fired, but instead of throwing them away, they were given a new meaning from this inscription. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hands of the potter. So it becomes this really lovely collector's item. Moving their studio to the canal also inspired new works and a new style called the canal bankside style. You see different wildlife, flora and fauna coming into the brothers' work. So we're at what used to be known as the Grand Junction Canal, today the Grand Union Canal, where it meets Havelock Road, and this is around the area where the Martin Brothers studio would have been. It's no longer standing today, but as part of this project, we've been working with Havelock School to bring some of that clay and ceramic activity back to this site.
We took all the kids to the canal just to walk along the canal and look for nature and inspiration. They also collected many things. Sticks, leaves, blueberries was quite a popular choice for the kids, and that was also breaking some of these barriers that they had of what they can touch, what they can collect, what they can see. And they used that for not just inspiration, but also as tools. So the leaves were used as tools, the sticks were used as tools. We also wanted to show them that they don't need fancy pottery tools to create what they want.
They've been able to exhibit the expressive side of themselves. They have been quite reserved in the nature when they're learning maths and English, but when it comes to art and using the clay, they've been able to open themselves up, be really creative, and show themselves in a different light, and it really exhibits the talents that some of our pupils have hidden away.
Seeing them learning something new, being transformed by something so simple like clay. It's just mud, it's dirt and water. And suddenly it was something else that each kid created. It was also quite nice to see them collaborating, and some of the prompts that we gave to them of, you have now to combine your things, I thought, well, this is impossible to combine these two things that these two kids made, but they would find a way.
We had a pizza, and then she made like a little like bird, and then I mixed the pizza, and then the bird was on top of it, pecking on it, which was very a fun thing to do.
Different people were building relationships between each other to make this one final art piece. It's kind of like harmony, like think of it like harmony. Different people and then one big thing.
There was a common and final goal of creating this one piece. And what's interesting about that, and the main reason why we designed this project like that, is because we wanted the kids to grow up seeing what they made, and they can go back there and it's pottery, so they can go back there in 20 years and it's still going to be there. In 1,000 years, it's still going to be there, and they can go back and say, I was part of that, and I made that. And there is this face that actually represents some of them, they were making their parents, some of them, one of them made me, so some of them were making their friends that were sitting next to them, or the teachers. So now they can go back there and see and know that they are physically now and forever part of this group.
The Martin brothers are some of the most important artists of their time. They're not just potters, they really were sculptors making artwork out of ceramics. And they come at this interesting precipice between art pottery and studio pottery. So in that way they're unique, but they also had such a unique setup in the studio. It's a story that we think shouldn't just be kept here in Ealing and Southall. We want to spread this story and the work of the Martin brothers beyond our borough.